Yo, Catherine Carl, thanks for commenting on our video. We're sending you this dope Beast Boy by John Boy poster. Stay tuned to the end. We got more giveaways on deck. Russ, you got broken into, man. What is going on?
Oh my gosh, I know, yeah, last week's video was actually delayed because someone attempted to break into the shop at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, community, thank you so much for the outpouring of the support. I mean, really, it has been a crazy, crazy week, but we are doing fine. Nothing was stolen, and everything is looking on the up and up.
Yeah, we're upgrading our security. We released a support your local comic shop shirt, and we're going to have that available till like Monday. It's going to be a limited release for anyone who feels like they want to help us out because we're just upgrading our stuff to keep your comic book safe. We have a list of the top 10 trending comics in the market. The ones that are popping, spiking. We have multiple printings on this list. We have key books, and we have some interesting news. And we have error prints. Let's get into this list. Hit the subscribe button, comic fam. And what do we got at number 10?
So you guys are going to notice a lot of repeat offenders on this list, and number 10 is no exception to that rule. We're looking at Riptide number 1. This is a book that Tom and I have been talking about for 2 years now. The fact that they had optioned it, and then it just got cold, and then it got hot, and then it got cold again. Well, it's hot again.
That's right. This is by Red 5 Comics, proud publishers of making comic books perfect for the screen. And this is a disaster ship tale. Page after page of carnage. It's basically like Titanic, the second part. Comic done by Red 5 Comics. This movie is set to be a motion picture soon, and they're bringing the title back to print with a new series. $12 average sales and a staggering 850% increase in copies sold. 9.8's hitting $140.
Number 9 on the list, we have Venom 27, but not the one that you're thinking. This is the double cover variant. Those of you who are paying attention know that there was an incredible John Boy Myers variant cover, and also a really, really great Ryan Stegman 1 in 100 sketch variant. Now, what would happen if you put those two great tastes together? You'd get a double cover hitting the list this week. $500 is what these sales are going for, and there are even higher listings all over eBay. This is crazy. We have no idea what the actual number of these are out there. There are a couple sellers on eBay who look like they have 4 and 5 copies apiece, so this may be a little bit less scarce than people anticipate, but with the first appearance of Codex in this, it's going to be a hot book.
$800 highs, brand new on the shelf, and it's a mix between a store exclusive and a 1 in 100. I don't think I've ever seen something so drastic happen.
Oh yeah, Tom. I mean, we've definitely seen these double covers before. We had the Star Wars and Thor miswrapped cover.
They don't always hold their value. That's the thing. Star Wars was going for $80 out the gate. Now it's going for $30. I'm thinking a punchline. It's got to be a key moment for it to really retain its value. And even that book, which was going for over $400, you can get a 9.6 right now for just above $250. So be mindful. Don't pull the trigger too quick unless it's really drastic of an error or there's a key moment there. This book happens to be a perfect storm. That's why we're seeing $800 highs right now.
For those of you who have been sleeping on this Maestro variant, you have until midnight tonight to sign up for the mystery mail call. This Valerio Jean Giordano cover is amazing, and we are excited to bring it to you, the mystery mail call family.
Comic fam, link in the description below to support our show. We couldn't do this. We couldn't work with like Valerio and these amazing cover artists without the community involved. And you know what? Next month, I'm just going to let everybody know we're doing Thor 7. I'm not going to tell you what artist we got, but I'll tell you that you would never guess.
It is another incredible international artist, and this time all the way from Spain.
It's going to blow the community's mind. No one's going to be able to guess in the comment section below. If you do, I promise you, screw it. We're doing 2 Wolverine #1 exclusives today for a giveaway. You guessed the artist we got on Thor. The bad boy of comics, Donny Cates. I'm sending you one of these. Let's chat. Number 8 on the list, some Kate Bishop Hawkeye spec in Fallen Sun, Death of Captain America, issue 3, cover B.
Now, this is the first time that we see Clint Barton and Kate showing up on a cover together. This has a 2,000 1,000% increase in sales over last week. $15 raw, and there's no documented CGC sale because not a lot of people would have graded this book.
Thinking there's some Marvel Disney Plus spec going on here because really we were just chatting about just like 2 weeks ago, Hawkeye issue 9, the second print hitting over $100. Issue 9, people specking that Clown could be in part of the Matt Fraction run. Naturally, we are looking for potential moments that are going to be a big deal once the show gets popular. The first time they're on the cover together. But keep in mind, she doesn't know she's dealing with Clint Barton. Hawkeye. He's actually disguised as Captain America in this story. So although it's the first time they're unknowingly, unofficially teaming up, they happen to put him in the Hawkeye gear on the cover B next to her, and it looks dope. So people are specking on this book.
Number 7 on the list, we have another great cover, Death Metal number 3, the Federici cover.
This character straight up looks like Ozzy Osbourne.
My gosh, I'm so excited to see Robin King biting the heads off a bat in another issue.
I mean, this is like essentially the Art Germ punchline variant of the Robin King.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there was a lot of buzz about this when they leaked the art.
It's that classic full body shot with him solo on the cover. And this book's seeing gains, $20 average sales.
The pre-sales are $120 for a 9.8 on this book. And it's crazy because we knew that this would be really popular and a lot of people would be interested in getting this book.
Now, you got hot last week on the mic talking about the 1 in 25 variant and how DC released it. And the first thing you said about this book when you saw it making the trending 20 list over on Key Collector Comics, the best comic book app that exists on the market, use code TOM101 to get a full week subscription and get access to the full list of 20 comics that were trending this week that we based this top 10 list off of. What did you say about the FOC?
I said the FOC was even worse than the Death Metal one, because this one, by the time they actually leaked what the Federici art was, our final order cutoff was almost 2 weeks past. Final order cutoff on this was the 6th of July. So when the last one had a final order cutoff of the 13th of July but came out last week, that actually means we have less time to order the book, and I still had probably 20 people ask me for it. I got 3 copies of this book because by the time I ordered this book, I didn't have anyone wanting it. And we didn't know what the cover art looked like when I ordered it.
That makes sense. Looking at number 6 on this list, whoa. I'm feeling old first off because when I saw that Immortal Hulk issue number 2 was on this list, the 4th print, let's get it on screen.
Sure.
I'm like, dude, this is like flashback to when we started doing this for the community over 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were talking about Immortal Hulk number 2 at the very, very beginning. It was one of those things that the Al Ewing run, every single week, it seemed like there was another book, another key, another something that had to do with Immortal Hulk.
Multiple Emerald Cities, man. It was the hot book.
Yep.
Immortal Hulk issue 2. You got to have it on your wall. Immortal Hulk issue 1. Are you reading it? It's got to be on your wall.
Right.
All of our dealer friends getting it. And this is like before Kate's was exploding, right? It started with Immortal Hulk really being the hottest books when we took over. And now it's back on the list because he has finally come back. Dr. Fry.
So we've been talking about this book for a while because in the original television show with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno, there was a character named Del Fry, which basically is the same type of character as this Professor Fry.
Yeah, they brought him into the comic run. Why would they do that but then not utilize him unless they had plans for him in the future? Thus, when this run started picking up steam, started selling, started moving up, wow, this book was spec of choice and was shooting all over the place.
2,850% increase this week for sales. We are looking at a $30 average sale and $60 for a 9.8, and that's probably going to continue to climb because you know these 4th prints did not have a massive print run.
Number 5 on the list, one of my favorite Batman comics that I've read in quite a while. This story is amazing. We have Batman The Adventures Continues, issue 2, featuring a couple really cool things in this comic book. The first, Deathstroke making his appearance in the BTAS universe, the Batman The Animated Series universe. We're talking Paul Dini, original writer, writing comics, right now continuing this fan favorite cartoon within comic books. Deathstroke for the first time. Almost said Deadpool. Had to correct myself in my noggin. But you know what? It's not just Deathstroke in this comic book. We have his new protege, Sonny. His daughter? No, not his daughter. This is just somebody who is taking interest in helping Deathstroke out. and it's kind of looking like it's going to be Batgirl's antagonist. Tell him about the spikes, because I don't think it's happening because of this dope social distancing ad. This may be the best ad I've seen in a comic book. It's not even an ad. It's more like be health conscious, be a good person type of thing. But Plastic Man, that's my jam. And we got Murder Hornets in the same comic. Very relevant.
This comic book is crazy, but the reason why it's spiking to 550% sales, the reason why it's selling $20 for an average sale and $4 for a high sale is very much because of speculation on what Sunny could very well become.
Number 4 on this list. Holy smoke. Shout out to Key Collector Comics for putting this on the spec deck. You find a lot of use out of this category as a store owner.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, right now we have a book that I feel like we should have figured out way sooner. War of the Realms, Agents of Atlas, issue number 1, the 3rd printing. I don't think people looked up the Comicron numbers, like how many copies of this were ordered. And shout out to Key Collector for informing everybody via the spec deck, because this book is being heavily spec'd on. And I was surprised, as someone who's chatted about this book this often, to see it has under a 2,000 print count.
So with characters like Arrow and Swordmaster showing up in this, we know that Agents of Atlas is very, very popular, but with the 3rd print run being less than 1,500, that's the reason why this is up 900% this week.
$45 average sale. This comic book was going for $5 before the print count was brought to the attention of the community. $60 highs. It happened really quick, and that's why you need to use that code, unlock the spec deck, and be on top of these because they move so quick.
Number 3 on the list, we had a bunch of talk about Millarverse options when he made that deal with Netflix a while ago. Well, now, number 3 on the list, we have Reborn number 1, because there's more news about the Sandra Bullock show.
Sandra Bullock's producing the show. We had a director attached earlier this year. We knew this movie was coming to Netflix, and now we see a writer attached. Right now, we are seeing also on Netflix a lot of stuff actually land for comic book adaptations. We see Umbrella Academy Season 2, one of my favorite shows. I binged it real quick. You need to catch up. We also had recently The Old Guard, Charlize Theron, killing it on screen, and that was a loose adaptation that did really well. Thus, the spec market is excited about this Mark Millar story, especially because we're waiting to see if this works, what other Millarverse is going to be coming next, because this is going to be the one they're going to base the success off of, on whether or not they should take other stuff from his universe to the screen. 3,000% increase in copies sold, $15 average sales, a 9.8 hitting $300, and that was a signature series graded book.
The Capullo cover on this is fantastic, but you have to keep in mind there is also a McFarlane cover that no one is talking about.
That's it. That's the spec. Easiest spec as it pertains to this title. And let's chat about number 2, because I think this right here would make perfect sense for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Number 2 on this list, we have Vengeance, number 1, the first appearance of America Chavez.
Young Avengers, in and out of the list for 2 years. This is one of the fan favorites of the Young Avengers. And what are we going to do? The Infinity Gauntlet is destroyed. The gems are gone. We have different timelines. We have parallel universes. Doctor Strange is going to be starting that process off to kind of begin this new event that's going to take place. Probably introduce a lot of new characters. So he's probably going to go between dimensions. Or we can possibly see a new character who can travel between dimensions and go through time, incorporate into Doctor Strange. America Chavez is a perfect choice.
So there is definitely a lot of internet rumor from a bunch of different sources right now that she is supposed to show up in Doctor Strange number 2. We have no confirmation from anything, but there's a bunch of rumor mill stuff happening. So keep your eye on this one.
CBR was talking about this in January.
Right.
We were talking about this 2 years ago. And we have an increase of copies sold of 157%. Average sales at $120.
Yeah, but when I saw the high sales of 9.8 at $800, you can tell that people are really, really serious about this character.
Whoa. Number 1 on this list. Crazy. Was not expecting this, man. Jaw dropped. You were surprised. I was surprised. Comic fam, you're going to be surprised. Subscribe to the channel. We need your support. We want you here for the ride. Slap that button. And let's chat about TMNT number 1, the second print.
That's right, Tom. Number 1 on the list, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 1, the second print. Yes, we said it twice because we are both shocked about this. This book is not the one that anyone talks about. Everyone is either looking for the first print because it's their grail, or they bought a third print because they could find it. The second prints just aren't out there. People aren't having it. So when it moves this high, this price spikes so much in the last 2 weeks, you got to take notice.
According to Overstreet, 15,000 of these were printed?
Yep.
Okay, so we're seeing staggering gains, over 100% increase in copies sold for expensive book, $1,500 average sales, and we're going to report on a $2,100 sale at 9.4 in July.
So the crazy thing about this is on July 20th, there was a 9.4 of the second print that sold for $2,125. And then on August 10th, there was a 7.0 that sold for $2,125. So you were looking within a period of 20 days, you actually have a book on auction that went for as much as something that was so much higher grade. That's insane.
How to tell the different printings are so important. First off, the key thing that you're looking for to know if it's a first print, we all got to know it. You got to know it like you know your Hulk 181 cover. Right. This is basic stuff, comic book 101. It is Tom 101, right?
Yep.
Gobbledygook, inside ad. You got to know it. You got to look for that ad. But how do you tell a second print?
For the second print, there is no ad for Gobbledygook, but the sword that goes through turtles on the cover, the tip of it, there's a little bit of blood that goes through the middle T.
Now, the third print also has blood in the same spot, but significantly more. And it says third print on the inside cover. You gotta know your TMNT printings. And you also gotta do what?
Geek responsibly.
Enough said. Comic fam, I cannot stop thinking about these TMNT record breakers. It's been on my mind all day. Like, this right here is evidence, just more evidence about collectors' interest in later printings, cover Bs, and variants in general. It's not just the modern era that's being affected. I think this week is a sign of the copper age now being affected, and it's notable. It's something you gotta consider going forward. And comment down below. Let me know what you think about all this stuff. Do you have any comics on this list? What do you think of the list? It'll enter you to win a Wolverine #1 variant Comictom exclusive by Ian Hyukley. Have a great weekend.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja... Oh, come on, guys. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, the second print.
You said hurdles.
I did.